Hello, this is Jason Broadwater. I'm the owner and president of RevenFlo, a web marketing company located in Rock Hill, South Carolina. Today I'm going to talk to you about the RevenFunnel. The RevenFunnel is a method to generate qualified leads for any kind of service business. This could be a business-to-business or a direct-to-consumer provider. This could be a business with a local customer base or a national customer base. And it could be a business with a short and simple sales cycle or one with a long, complex sales cycle. It doesn't matter. The RevenFunnel is a method to generate qualified leads for any kind of service business. So, let's look at your qualified prospect. What do qualified prospects have in common, regardless of the service business? Well, first, they must have the need or the desire that your offering is addressing, right? Do they need your service? Secondly, they've got to be aware of you and your offering. They need to know you exist and that you offer this service, or they're not really a prospect. They can't hire you without knowing that. Next, they have to have some context around the cost and the value of your offering for them to be a qualified prospect. Next, they have to encounter you in some way. They have to encounter you and engage with you and your offering somewhere, in person, online, somewhere. Next, they have to trust and be attracted to you. They have to have the trust and attraction enough to want to reach out, right? They have to want to do business with you. And then lastly, they need to have an easy way, once they decide to reach out, an easy way of self-identifying and making that contact. These are the qualities or the state of being that your prospect has to be in to be a qualified prospect. And then they show up to you ready to discuss your service. What we've created is a model that is a funnel that brings more and more people over time, and out of the bottom of the funnel comes a very qualified prospect who is self-identifying and contacting you, wanting to learn more about your services. Now, as I describe this model, I'll have some numbers from a real case study beside the model here so that we can see how these apply in terms of what we're measuring when we're trying to measure the success of each of our stages of the funnel. So at the top of the funnel, what we have are impressions. An impression is when someone encounters you out there in the market, right? So how often, where, by whom, and in what context are you being seen online? Who's seeing you? What are they seeing? And all of that stuff. Those are impressions. And we can measure those impressions in our online marketing efforts by looking at how many times you were seen and displayed in Google Ads, in Facebook, and in LinkedIn, and in Instagram. This is with this particular client. These were the 4 areas where we were investing in getting more impressions. In Google Ads, we're able to be in front of people based on psychographics and geographic location. So for this client, over this duration of time, we were in front of people 400,000 times that were in the correct geography, and they were demonstrating a desire for the services that this client provides. Facebook and Instagram, these are more social impressions where you're encountering something because you're connected to it in some way. You're connected to it because you follow ideas like it, or you like things that are similar to it, or you are connected to people who are connected to it somehow. And so 8,000 times over this period, we showed up in front of people who are connected to ideas around the services that this client provides. And then in LinkedIn, we can be very specific in our targeting because we can show up in front of people by industry, what position they hold at their organization, by what organization they work in, what level, whether they're executive level or entry level, these kinds of things. So there's all kinds of targeting options in LinkedIn that can help us determine where we want to show up in front of people, or to whom we want to show up. The next layer of the funnel is engagements. So engagements is when somebody, so yeah, that many people saw you, but who engaged with what they saw? Did they click it? Did they like it? Did they share it? Whatever it might be. In social spaces, it's often that you like it or you share it. or you comment on it. In Google, it would be that you click on it. You see the result, you type in a search and you see a result that you like, and so you click on it. That's engagement. And so we see when we look at this client, we're measuring how many people clicked on the ads. We had 1%. Out of those 400,000 times we showed up, 1% of people clicked on it. In Facebook, we had 341 engagements. In Instagram, 7,000 engagements. And in LinkedIn, we had 3,400 engagements. So in the social spaces, the engagements again look like likes and shares and comments. They don't usually lead directly to a contact, but they can lead to a connection of a person who would then continue to be in your funnel. That means that they're going to see you more often because they've connected to you. They're going to see your messaging as you continue to put it out there, and then they'll jump back into the funnel and come to the website, contact you, all those things in the future. The Google ads are clicks going straight to your website. That's bringing people down the funnel to the next stage, which is traffic to your website, right? Who comes to your website and what do they do while they are there? We want a lot of people to come to your website, potentially. Doesn't have to be a lot of people. More importantly, we want the right people to come to your website. And while they're there, we want them to do the stuff that we want them to do. Learn what they need to learn. A lot of times that's the opportunity to gain context around cost and value. Is when they come to the website. That can help them understand if they're looking at the right provider. Maybe they're not. So how many people came to the website? How many of them came from organic search? How much time did they spend on average on the website? How many pages are they looking at per session? With this data, we can have benchmarks and we can determine what we need to add to or change or do on the website so that we can improve these metrics. If we get them to do the action that we want them to do, in this case, with a service business trying to generate leads, the action is for them to contact you, right? So how many of these visitors that come to your website, how many of them will self-identify as interested? Those are conversions. And so now they move from your marketing process, they move into your sales process. Now there's your lead, give that to your salesperson, and they take it from there. What we might measure, and what we did measure for this particular client in their conversions, were forms on the website. That's email forms when somebody fills out a form. And then click to call, which is on mobile phone, since mobile is so prevalent now in the way people look at the internet. We can measure when somebody clicks a phone number, has it open on their phone, and clicks that to call it. And then what we could not measure in this case were the dialed calls. In other words, someone's looking at your website and they see the number on there and then they just get out their phone and they dial it. We can't measure that because we don't know that they did that. Now, if it were a trackable phone number and that phone number was only on your website, then you could measure that that call was made by somebody looking at your website because that's the only place they could have gotten that number. That's very easy to set up, but the client did not have that in this case. So we don't know how many just straight up calls they got from people looking at the website. This model can consistently, over time, generate qualified leads. It's difficult to set up. There's not only the measuring of these different components the way we're doing here, but there's the strategic approach to this model as a whole. I mean, who are you trying to be in front of? And what truly are you putting in front of them? How is it more valuable than other things that are being put in front of them? And that, my friends, is the RevenFunnel. So thank you for listening and peace out.